Good morning, guys. I hope that you had a great day yesterday. Today, we're going to continue in science talking about life cycles. We talked about a chick's life cycle and we went through that book, and now we are going to just talk about an insect's life cycle. For second grade, the standard, it just wants you to understand that different things go through different cycles and that sometimes the adult of an insect looks one way, but then their baby looks another. So think about that chick. When a chicken has an egg, the egg does not look like the chicken, but later it starts to form and look way more like a chicken, okay? All right, so our book is coming from A to Z, and you have access from of this at home. And there's lots of books on life cycles. So if you need something to read at home, I encourage you to get on A to Z and just type in life cycles. And there's lots of things that come up, lots of interesting books. Okay, let's get started. Insect life cycles. This is a level L. Is that pretty caterpillar? What is this called? This is a text feature. What is this page? Table of contents. What does the table of contents do for us? It tells us the page numbers. And if the chapters were labeled, like if they said chapter 1, chapter 2, like a lot of our chapter books do, like our Jenny B. Jones and our Magic Treehouse, then beside here, if you can see my mouse, right here is where it would say chapter 1, 2, such as that, okay? Oh, and I see another text feature that's in this book, and it's listed at the very bottom. You keep looking for those text features. All right, let's go on. When you were born, your body was shaped a lot like it is now. It was smaller, of course, but you had a head, legs, arms, and a torso. When you grow up, your body shape will be about the same. But some baby animals look nothing like the adults they will become. That's what I just said. So up here we have a ladybird and a tropical ant and a flower beetle. These animals have a different kind of life cycle. A life cycle is a series of changes an animal goes through during its life. Insects have fascinating life cycles. Some insects go through 4 stages of a life cycle. The insect lives as an egg, a larva, a pupa, and an adult. Okay, so some of them go through 4. Others go through 3 stages of a life cycle. Egg, and then it hatches as a nymph, and then an adult. So some do 4 and some do 3. There is more than 800,000 different kinds of insects. They include butterflies and beetles, fleas and flies, crickets and cockroaches. Although they come in almost every shape, most insects have a few things in common. All insects have 6 legs. Their bodies are divided into 3 parts. Most insects have wings and can fly. Most insects wear their skeleton on the outside of their body as a hard shell. And all insects begin as eggs. So, I have a little song that helps you remember this, that insects are divided into 3 parts. So it goes kind of like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But you go head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs. So you point to your head for the head. You point to your stomach, and that's the part that you say head, thorax. That's your thorax, okay? So just like I like to think of an ant because an ant is really well proportioned. So head, thorax, point to your stomach, and then abdomen, you just kind of tap your hips or your thighs, on the outside, okay? So head, thorax, abdomen, 6 legs, okay? And that will help you remember that. All right, let's move on. Egg. You can find insects' eggs everywhere if you know where to look. Most insects lay their egg near the food they like to eat. Moths and butterflies lay eggs underneath leaves. Dung beetles lay eggs in balls of animal poo. Many flies lay eggs on meat. Some insects even lay eggs on other animals. Many insects make special cases to protect their eggs. One insect puts foam around its eggs. You may have seen this cuckoo spit in tall grass. Many insects lay eggs in pools, ponds, or streams. Others lay their eggs underground. Rarely, a female insect keeps the egg inside her body. The eggs hatch and the young are born alive. Larva. Most eggs hatch into a worm-like stage called a larva. Caterpillars, grubs, and maggots have larvae. They have long bodies and many legs. Most all larvae are eating machines. A larva can eat more than its own body weight in one day. Many larvae can destroy crops. Some larvae suck sap from crop roots. Others devour the leaves. Others eat the fruit or the vegetables. Beetle larvae can weaken and kill trees. Some moth larvae eat woolen clothing. On the other hand, the silkworm, a moth larva, makes silk thread. So it sounds like farmers do not want larvae anywhere near their crops, huh? Pupa. Once the larva has grown, it must totally change its shape. It must also protect itself while it does so. Most larvae spin cocoons out of silk or grow hard shells. The pupa does not eat and does not move much. But inside, the insect is busy, very busy, changing its shape. This change is called metamorphosis. That's a really hard word, so I have a little song to help you remember that. Can you say metamorphosis? Let's see if I can pull up a song to help you. Here we go. Oh.
That guy right there.
What is that?
A metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Well, I'm gonna be more than this. Just wait and see.
He has a
kinda looks like a
tadpole.
fish. Metamorphosis. A metamorphosis. But he's no fish. I'm gonna transform from this tadpole to a frog. Alright now, we gotta get a little froggy groove going on.
Here we
Gather around
go.
the pond, my little tadpoles. Once upon a wet line, I was stuck inside an egg eye. There wasn't very much to see, so I wiggled and I broke free. I kinda looking like a fishy, with my tail going squishy. I got gills on my neck, I got no legs yet, but just you wait and you will see. A metamorphosis, metamorphosis. Well, I'm gonna be more than this. I just wait and see. Alright, help me sing now.
All right. So now we're going to go back to our book. That was just a little help for you to show you that metamorphosis is just simply talking about the change that an insect goes through. So our insect that we have talked about, it went through some changes, right? Let me get back to where we were. Okay, now let's talk about an adult. After metamorphosis happens, so inside that cocoon, metamorphosis is happening. Okay, and so that animal, think about a butterfly or a moth. The butterfly, it is starting out as a caterpillar. Yeah, it was an egg, and then it was a caterpillar, and then what happened? It got into a cocoon, and inside that cocoon is when metamorphosis is happening. And guess what happens? It comes out a butterfly, a beautiful butterfly. So let's talk about the adult. After the metamorphosis is complete, the pupa hatches as an adult. The adult insect has wings, 6 legs, and 3 body parts. Many larvae that lived in water will hatch into adults that live on land. Larvae that lived underground will hatch above the soil. Adult insects will find mates, and the females will lay eggs. Sometimes this is all the adults do. Mayfly adults live for only 1 day. Many other insects have longer adults lives. Okay, so some of them only live 1 day, but most of them have longer adult lives. They eat, they fly, they hunt, and they work. A nymph. In the 3-stage life cycle, eggs do not hatch as larvae. They hatch as nymphs. Okay, so we talked about the 4-stage one. Now we're switching and we're going to the 3-stage one, okay? That some insects go through 3 stages instead of 4, okay? So it went from egg, nymph to adult, okay? So this is talking about the nymph stage. They hatch as nymphs, which look like small adults. Some nymphs do not have full wings. Others, such as a dragonfly nymph, may live underwater. Nymphs do not turn into pupa. Instead, they shed their skin as they grow. Each time they shed their skin, they look more like an adult. Slowly, the nymph transforms into an adult. So here is a dragonfly's shedded skin on that flower stem. Okay, we are at another text feature. What is this page called? The index. What does the index do for us? It picks important words and it tells us what page they're on. So if I was doing a research paper on cocoons, I probably wouldn't want to read this entire book. So I could turn to page, what page is cocoons on? Page 12. So I could turn to page 12 and read just about cocoons. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's science. I will catch up with you again next week, and we will be doing some more experiments. I hope that you've tried some of them out and reading some more cool books on life cycles. Have a good weekend.